I've been asked a few times to do a lesson on the Gallop technique, which is a rhythm technique used quite often in heavy metal. So here is a quick video with a few examples and a few exercises for you to practice this Gallop technique. So what is the Gallop technique? It's basically this. It sounds like a galloping horse, which is why it's called the Gallop technique, and it's used a lot in heavy metal and rock music. So the Gallop is basically a group of 4 semiquavers with either the second one left out or the 4th one left out. And I'll demonstrate what I mean. So I'm going to play 4 straight notes, 4 straight semiquavers. I'm muted on the bridge. Now I'm going to leave out the second of those semiquavers. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to miss out the 4th one. So start off with the regular 4 semiquavers, then I'm going to miss off the last one. So you can see that leaving out one of those creates that syncopated galloping type sound. So the first way to play the Gallop is to start each of these group of notes with a downstroke. Okay, so the picking pattern there is down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, repeat. So slow motion. I'm literally playing down, up, down, down, up, down. And this works equally well with the dun da da dun da da and the da da dun da da dun. So okay, or which is just the reverse. So slowly, let's do both of those. And now the reverse. Okay, so that's one for you to practice. So the next way of doing it is to do everything alternate picked, which is a lot easier, and you can also play faster because you're not having to make sure your pick is at the top each time. Because when I play down, up, down, my pick is naturally underneath this string. So if I can bring it up and play up, down, up, I've got a better chance of playing fast than and then having to come back to the top. So if we're going to start off by doing down, up, down, down, up, down. Now try it alternate pick. So that's going to be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And slowly. Okay, so you can also, if you have, learnt to pick a certain way, you can click up, down, up, down, up. So that would be up, down, up, down, up. Okay, so we've got 3 different ways of doing it there. So down, up, down. Completely alternate picking. Up, down, up. And they all have their advantages, because sometimes you'll be playing something down on the higher strings, so you'll need to come with an upstroke. So it's good to be able to do that. Other times you just want to lay into it and really play heavy. So you might want to use more hard downstrokes. And other times you might want to play fast. So you'd want to play it alternate picking. So that's 3 different ways of doing it, and I suggest you practice all 3 of those. Now let's have a look at a couple of riffs that will help you with your Gallop technique. If you like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. So the first riff we're going to look at is Power Slave by Iron Maiden. It's a classic gallopy riff. It goes like this. So here I'm using a pure alternate picked version. Okay, so the riff goes like this. So that's all on the open A string, and then we're going to play the 3rd fret of the A, and that's a power chord. Back to the open A, and then 1st fret of the A string power chord. Then back up to open A onto the 3rd. And then we've got this little bit. So open A, and then we're going to play 5, 4, 5, 7, 5. That's all on the A string. Then we do a little hammer, 4, 5, 4. And then 6 of the bottom E string. So slowly the whole riff. Something important to mention here is when you're playing those power chords, make sure you take your hand off the bridge, because otherwise you're going to be muting those chords and you don't want to, you want them to ring out. So in terms of whether you play the down, up, down, or the alternate, which is what I was doing, that's entirely up to you, and you can obviously practice both. I always do the alternate purely because I've been doing that for years and that's my natural go-to place, but you may not do that. So that's the first riff. Have a go at that, and then we'll look at the second riff. So the second riff is Skeletons of Society by Slayer, and it goes like this. So again, we're going to mute on the bridge. We're going to play some power chords in here, and you want to make sure you take your right hand off so that they ring out. We're going to start with an open bottom string, and then we're going to play 1st fret power chord, and then 2 notes on the open, and then a 1st fret power chord again. So the way I'm doing this one is I am picking alternate for the bigger part of the riff, and then on that part I'm picking with a downstroke to start, because then I'll get that downstroke for that power chord. So then we're going to play exactly the same rhythm, but we're going to come up to the fret 4, and then on to fret 5, and then back down to the open. Now I know this isn't a pure gallop, it's not dun 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 dun, but it's got some gallop in there, so I thought it'd be a good one to put in because it's got a combination of some gallopy parts and non-gallopy parts. So again, we'll do this riff really slowly. So one final thing to mention on this Gallop is you don't just have to do it on single notes, you can do it on chords. And to do it on chords, or power chords, you just need to make the sweep of your pick wider. So whereas here, that was very, very messy, but you get the gist. It's quite a small movement. If you want to hit the power chord, then you want to make it wider. You do need to realise that when you're playing power chords, you're not always going to be hitting the lower of the two notes with your first stroke, because you're going to be playing down, up. It's a slightly different sound, because here you're hitting, when you're on a downstroke, you're hitting the bottom string first. On the upstroke, you're going to hit the higher string. So it is a slightly different sound. Okay, so you can probably make that out on the video, hopefully, but you will get a different tone. But when you're playing fast, no one's going to hear it. So amp settings are like so. I'm using the Hughes & Kettner Tubemeister 40 Deluxe or Deluxe 40. I've got gain at just over 12 o'clock, bass 12 o'clock, mids about 11, and treble at 3 o'clock.